So welcome to DOREEN'S African Experiences. There is a topic that is very touchy. I want to talk about it for some time. I sometimes hint about it. Then other times I just completely ignore it. But I think it is something we need to talk about. Maybe I'm the one that is naive. I think my network is slow. I don't know. I think my network is very slow, but I guess my voice is actually moving on time. It is my video that is very, very slow. Is it slow? I think now, is someone trying to call me? And I don't have a lot of battery. Power is out. So you guys, I know some of you are going to see this video much later because I don't know, when I'm going live I just randomly go live. But I need to understand, should a parent that abandons their child, especially in their young stages, be given multiple chances back in that child's life? You know, I know you're going to say it depends on the reasons why. I understand this very much, but let me tell you something. Unless you are sick and dying or in some kind of coma, this is something that we have in Africa. I don't know about the rest of the world. I've seen so many mothers. You can see mothers struggling, but they're always with their kids. I've seen so many mothers like that. Actually, mothers, I respect mothers like that. I've seen fathers struggling, but they're still with their kids, or at least they're in their kids' lives. But there is the type of parent that is not in that child's life, does not care to be in the child's life, right? They have so many excuses. They justify their behavior. And somehow, when these children grow up, there is construction going on. When these children grow up and they become something or they make something of their lives, suddenly these parents want to play dad or mother. But what level of hypocrisy is this? Honestly, some of these parents, let me be very frank with you. As a parent, if you abandon your child 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6, 7, 8, and this child spends all those years growing up without you, you are no longer their parent. The person that is in that child's life, teaching them how to go about life, how to do things in life, helping them, feeding them, raising them, that is their parent. That's their parent. Because for me, I would equate something like that to a sperm donor or an ovary donor. If you donate your sperm to an organization, and this sperm is somewhere you don't even, you might even know who you donated your sperm to. When these people or this person conceives a child, this is not your child. This is your donation. And that person will raise their child however they see fit. They will take care of that child. You have no right to go into this person's life and somehow start claiming to be treated like a father when you've never been a father, to be treated like a mother when you've never been a mother. We need to stop being hypocrites. Just because you carry a pregnancy for 9 months, or just because you sire a pregnancy with somebody, does not justify that you are the parent. It doesn't justify. There is someone I know, someone very close to me. This person's father didn't just abandon actually. This is how the story goes. This person's father abandoned this person's mother. The mother left the child behind with the father. The father battered, the father mistreated, the father tortured this child, as though the father wanted the child to pay for the crimes of the mother. But this was a child. The father married again, and the mother, the new woman, mistreated the child alongside with the father. And the family members alongside that entire circle all mistreated that child. All except for one person. The father didn't for once even apparently buy for this child anything that can be remembered, not even a pamper or a knicker or even a dress. Whatever this child had was outsourced from other family members. So it was mostly hand-downs that this person wore. This person went to very, very poor schools because whoever was educating that person, that's what they could afford at the time. But all the father did was beat on that child, torture that child, and somehow after about 6, 7 years or 8 years of all that torture, the child managed to go and live with the mother. Hi, Cementa, I don't agree with you. It depends on the circumstances under which someone abandoned their child. First, listen to the story I'm telling you. Because I don't have much battery and my electricity is out, the entire area. So, this child went ahead to stay with the mother. This child grew up through high school, college, everything. The father never once showed up to even say hello. And the few years this child was with the father, the man battered this child. The man tortured this child. The man mistreated this child and even recruited other people to do the same. So somehow this child manages to make it in life or make it out of all those situations. Because even when this child managed to stay with the mother, the early years were equally brutal. Because every single time, apparently, the mother was unhappy. The mother took it out on the child. Life can be cruel, but the child still managed to patch her relationship with the mother, but with the father, because the father completely stayed, hi Afriel, the father completely stayed out of that child's life. And somehow, after over 20 years, 23, said what? How many years were those? Around 20 to 23 years, right? Suddenly the father wants to be in the child's life. Can you imagine? This is not a child anymore. This is an adult. This person was telling me that even those years when, after all the torture, the child, because when you're in Uganda, the situation is quite interesting. Parents come visiting their children at school, so that thing can mess with your mind. So every time things like that happen, the child always hoped the father would show up, maybe, but the guy never showed up, not even once. Suddenly, as an adult, because now the father no longer has the power or any energy and also is broke, suddenly wants to rekindle a relationship with this person so that they can beg them for money and resources to survive. Can you? Would you take someone like that back in your life? You people, let me tell you, I've always said this and I'll say it again. There is so much pain in this world, but don't give birth to a child and be the cause of their pain. Because the world's still going to give them pain. But you as the parent, try not to be the source of your child's pain, because that is a wound that never heals, no matter how much therapy sessions you pay for. You know those things people say, this one has childhood traumas? 80% of the population has childhood trauma, but some people have it worse than others. We have a very big problem. We are walking, you can be there, you are raised with love and everything, and you're walking through life, and you're meeting people who have so much trauma, and they're going to traumatize you. They will traumatize you. So, honestly, and it's not even their fault. Some people have been dealing with pain far too long. They don't even know how long. A lot of things happen to people in life, you know. So me, I simply told this friend of mine, what do you feel? And this person told me that every single time this man calls me, it feels like the wounds of the heart just reopened again. And it's like as if everything he did to me is so fresh. And I lose focus. I even start feeling ill. I can't do anything. I just completely lose it because I can't do anything to this person. And I just keep, apparently, this person keeps wondering the audacity this person has to even try reaching out now that they are the ones on the other end and they need help. And finally, my friend told me after days, or was it weeks of pretending that he can have a conversation with this person, he just couldn't and blocked the father. Because this person was as good as dead. Let me tell you a mechanism personally that I developed when I was younger. Every single time I didn't have something, every single time because I didn't grow up with a lot. So every single time I have something, name it, anything, friend, a certain type of friend, anything. I just imagined something like that didn't exist. I had to be delusional for my own good. I had to assume this was not even, it just didn't exist, so that I didn't miss it or I didn't want it anymore. I don't know if that makes sense. So in a situation like that, where your own parents are not in your life, or your mother or your father, I would assume they are dead. You cannot spend time with a dead person. You cannot be with a dead person. You can't have expectations of a dead person. You know, when someone is dead, the person is dead. They can't do shit. They can't. So I told him to just picture that person dead. They're dead, right? They've never been in your life. Even when they were there, they simply traumatized and tortured you. Why are you still thinking about them? Why are you even wanting a relationship with this person when all they bring is memories of pain? So the only times personally, Miss or Mr. Cementa, I would allow a parent to be in a child's life after some time of not being in that child's life is if it's not longer than 5 years. Anything past 5 years, no. Even 5 years is a long time. Because even if you're mad and upset, it shouldn't take you more than 2 years to get over it, or at least to find ways of working around your anger. Because I don't think a child you gave birth to can anger you to be upset for all those years. Especially most of them are quite innocent, if not all of them. I don't know if that makes sense. So I don't think it should matter how you feel about this child, because this was your decision to bring this child into this world. We are living in the 21st century. We have so many forms of family planning. Shit. Most countries even allow abortions. Why are you bringing a child in this life to just torture them? Why are you raising a tormented human being to bring them into society to become a problem? Why are you intentionally doing these things? If you know you can't do something, just don't do it. We are living in the modern age. We have modern medicines. We have so many things. If you know you can't be a parent, there are people out there who want to adopt these children. Give the child up for adoption and walk away. And once you give up a child for adoption, if it's a closed adoption, and honestly speaking, don't bother the people you gave the child to. Later in life, when you suddenly feel the need to have a child or you miss the child, if you feel like you cannot take care of a human being, let them go. There is so many people in this world that can love that child and give it maybe a better life than you can, you know? Let's stop this hypocrisy of just because you gave birth to someone does not guarantee or give you parent rights. Parental rights are earned. Yes, they are earned. They are earned. Some of you abandon your children, and then when you're almost aging and you're scared of going into retirement homes or some shit, then you start trying to cling on to. Let me tell you, what you see these things you do with a child when the child is still young, that relationship you create with that child is all you will have left when this child leaves home. Yes, if you didn't nurture a good relationship with this child, you've seen children when they leave home, they don't want to know, they don't want to go back home, they're just angry. I don't want to go back home, I don't want to go back there. You know, they can't even call their parents at all. They don't want, because the parent was the dick. I'm serious. Some of you think you don't want to create relationships with your children the right way because maybe you want to be so dominant. You want to always be right. You're not patient. But you reap what you sow. Physical things for that child is not enough, and it's not what makes a relationship with a child. You need to bond with your child, emotionally bond with your child. And as for mothers, stop over bonding with your sons. Some of you are too extra. You reach a point where your sons can't even be independent men. They are marrying other people's daughters and mistreating them because they are such mommy's boys. They can't seem to detach. A child is supposed to be in position to detach from their parent and live an independent life. Actually, your job as a parent is to simply bring a being into life, nurture it, and give it all the tools it needs to move on and start its own life. Literally, that's your whole purpose. It's the purpose of being a parent. It's the purpose of so we can move on, we can keep it moving to the next generation, because again, the cycle of life is the same. It starts and it ends. We are all going to die at some point, you know? But some of you so-called mother-in-laws or mothers of daughters or sons, sorry, especially mothers of sons, you're just too much. You're just too much. I've seen so many stories of these women mistreating these women, the wives of their sons, complicating their lives to as if that. Do you want to marry your own children? Do you want to sire children with your children? Why can't you learn to let go? Find a hobby. Make your life busy. Stop this. Some of you are attached too much. And that's the problem, because now you're competing with someone else, but you're not sleeping with your son. Your son needs to move on and start his own family or start his own life. Learn to let go. It's not easy, as easy said, but stop this habit of over-attaching to your children, especially sons, mothers and sons. It's just too extreme. You know, some of your children are suffering because of you. You are the ones that is complicating every other person who comes into their life. You complicate their lives. You complicate everything. And then you complain. And actually, mothers like that never complain or wonder why their children are stuck at home or stuck in their lives, or all they think about is them. I think they even enjoy it secretly. But is that your purpose, really? Have you served your purpose? You know, find a pet, find a hobby, do something. Stop over imprinting on your children. It's natural for you to have that close bond with your children, but it is unnatural for you to progress and start competing and fighting your daughters-in-laws to that extent, as if you want to sleep with your own sons and sire the next generation. What is the point? Yeah, some of you are extreme, man. Some of you are just too extreme. I know you don't want to hear this, you know, but most of you make women's lives so miserable. And some of you justify this saying, oh, even my husband's mother-in-law, mother, gave me a hard time. Why should I give this one an easy time? Come on, you can all be a big, happy family. You lose nothing. You actually gain more than you lose. And also maybe some women go into these men's lives biased already, you know, from maybe relatable experiences. They go in biased and they also make it so hard. You know, honestly, genuinely, women are not easy and neither are men. So as human beings, we just have to look at life in a basic way. We overthink life. We overdo this life thing. It's not that hard. The only hard thing in life is looking for money and maintaining it. Other things are not supposed to be that hard. You know? Looking for money and maintaining it is the only hard concept of life. You know, you can look for money, you have it, but maintaining is the problem. Nonetheless, I do not support people or parents that abandon their children. You have to be in a war, you have to be dead, or you have to be in a coma to be excused. And this is most common with men. I don't know why men feel like it's okay to abandon their children. Maybe because a man can sire 10 children in 1 year. 10 women, 10 children. I don't know. But on a serious note, you know, men, you have to stop. You don't have to be with a child to be in your child's life, you know? And maybe the reason why some of these women are completely excommunicating you from their children's lives is because you're actually bad men. Because I don't think a woman will excommunicate you from the child's life if you're a decent man. No way. But also maybe some women are spiteful, but majority, they will give you access. Let me go. I have to redo my floor of the living room tomorrow. That's a lot of work. I have to move a lot of things around to the other side. Anyway, I don't have much battery. It was nice catching up with you. I should be uploading another video tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll shoot for my other channels as well. It's been a while. But yeah, there is no forgiving parents who abandon their children. We can tolerate you, but we can't forgive you. Come on, you got to understand that. Even if I don't have to say it, you know, even you'll be ashamed. In your heart of hearts, you'll know what you did was wrong. Do better. Stop this nonsense of justifying why you abandon children. Oh, there is no other father or mother. You are doomed. You are doomed. You are doomed to think you're free to do whatever you want and later come and play the dad card. Oh, I gave birth to you. Nigga, you gave birth, you're a sperm donor or an egg donor. Is it ovary donor or some shit? You're not a parent. So you don't have rights. You don't. I wish you all the best. Let me go charge my phone and my laptop. I can't believe I had to vent, but that was nice.